what was that game like for you, and what kind of boost does that give you moving forward, maybe?
It was a wonderful experience. I like the crowd, like the atmosphere. Like they have great fans, a great support. There was 100,000 people there, and you could hear all of them.
I bet they weren't saying nice things.
Nah.
And, uh, I also want to ask you guys, KJ's on the verge of setting a record for most touchdowns, I guess, created, rushing and passing. Well, what do you guys think? KJ's obviously got a lot of good qualities, but what do y'all think is really makes him a great player and a great touchdown producer? Maybe Rashod, you could take that first, and then Jaylon.
Yes, sir. I know, like from experience, you're a great leader, like tremendous guy, like on in and off the field. Like he handle his business. He makes sure everyone around him trying to do the same thing on the right track. He makes sure everybody's on their P's and Q's, and we execute the offense. Like no matter what the play call is, find a way to execute it.
Same thing with Dub said. He got great leadership. Like you could tell by like in the locker room, in the game, before all the games, he always comes around to the defensive side. He daps up every single one of us before the game, say, let's go. So just his leadership.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah, Rashod, I was curious, what do you think has been the biggest difference in you? It looked like you were just really hitting it, and even when it was just a wall, sometimes you would just run right into it and pick up 3-4 yards and stuff. What's been the biggest difference from you from the beginning of the year to the last game?
Trusting the old line. At first, I was like going off what I knew last year, like with the older guys that had them left in the game. It was like kind of faster. I just started trusting the old line, taking what they give me and hitting the right holes, slowing down my steps, making the right reads.
Jaylon, I wanted to ask you about the wide receivers for Texas A&M, Evan Stewart, 1 and 0, Anais Smith. What have you seen from those guys? They're obviously both pretty explosive, productive wide receivers for them.
Nothing but respect for those guys. They have a talented group of receivers. So we really look forward to going to AT&T Stadium and getting the face off against them.
What have you been told about Bobby Petrino and the offense that he runs, and what are you seeing from them on film?
Lots of explosive plays. They like getting the ball to their playmakers a lot in open space. So we just got to keep the top on the coverage.
Thanks, guys.
Tom.
Yeah. Hey, Jaylon. So your playing time, I mean, you got some playing time game one, and 25 snaps last week. What's the experience been like for you kind of already kind of factoring in?
Oh, I'm starting to get like more comfortable in the game. I could say like my first game I was playing, I was just getting my feet wet, getting used to the college atmosphere. But I could say I'm pretty settled in now, ready to go.
And you've had a pretty good view, I guess, of this rivalry. What's it going to be like going back to Texas and kind of participating in this game?
Oh, it's going to mean a lot getting to go back to my hometown, getting to play in front of all my family and friends. And I actually grew up playing at the Cowboy Stadium, so that's going to be a fun experience too. So I look forward to it.
How many games you reckon you played there?
Too many to count on my hands. I started playing there in Little League, and actually my first game of my senior year, that's where I played.
All right. Hey, Rashod, we saw Rocket today looking probably the best he's looked since game one. What did you see from him?
I seen the same thing you guys see. I was so excited that he's back. He's a tremendous leader too as well. Him and AJ Green and Dominique Johnson, they all keep me motivated every day, bringing it to practice. So make me step my game up.
What do you think of this rivalry? I mean, last year, there's a couple of freakish plays and you might have had them. And so how important maybe is this game to you?
This game is important because I like winning. Like every game, I take every game the same way. I love winning. Like I come from a winning background. I like to win. So this one we have to win. I don't think we should lose anymore.
All right. Well, so what did last year's game feel like then? It was, the pain of it maybe.
Yeah, it hurt for sure because I feel like we had it in the bag and we let it slip. But shouts out to those guys for their coaching staff and their athletes making plays too. It's just going to be a dogfight.
Thanks.
Daniel.
Quick, what has kind of Rocket's role been like within the running back room since he hasn't been able to play in the last 3 weeks?
keeping us motivated, telling us what he see on film, like what we could have did better, staying in touch with us, letting us know he's still here, like he ain't going nowhere, basically.
Bob.
I had a bunch of people ask me this week, how do I think the teams are doing after a couple tough losses? We know those could have been wins just as well as losses. I was like, I don't know. So I'm going to ask you guys, how's the team doing? Kind of what's the mindset and after a couple real tough losses?
We all sticking together and making sure we still win. Like we don't pay attention to the outside noise because they're not here working with us. So we just stick together, find a way to win. That's our biggest goal.
Yeah, Jaylon's a young guy. They say I'm sure you used to win a lot in high school. Kind of what's the stretch been like, and what's the mindset? Do you think?
We just got to get back on track. Like Dub said, we don't listen to all the outside noise. We all we got. We all we need.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah, Jaylon, is it difficult preparing for, I guess, two different quarterbacks since you don't, I guess, 100% know if Weigman's going to play?
I would, yeah, a little bit, but like for DB, we just look at like route concepts. So whatever quarterback comes out, we're obviously studying both of them, but we'll be ready for whichever one plays.
You guys it looked like you really got up and had a game plan and stuck to it and everything against LSU. How do you bottle that and make sure you keep that momentum and I mean, it's hard to get up every single week for a game. And how do you make sure you carry that over just for both of you?
First off, I say like we come out clicking on all cylinders, like don't beat ourselves because that's what happens. Most of the time we're beating ourselves like with penalties and things of that nature, which we can't blame the refs. So we just got to execute and win the right way. That's what we've been preaching all year, winning the right way.
Jaylon?
Just going out there, knowing your assignment, knowing what to do, and just sticking to our 3 keys of victory we get every week and just maintaining those to reach those goals.
And Jaylon, you talked about being, obviously from that area, you're like, 45 minutes away. A lot of family and friends going to be there?
Yes, sir, they are.
Yeah. How many are you expecting? Have you been having to gather tickets and stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying to get tickets. It's hard right now, but I know for sure that my mom and all them, they going to be there. So,
yeah. Anybody
out there watch on TV?
If you had to estimate, what do you think? How many people that you know?
At least 20. At least 20.
Yeah. Rashod, I guess it's a little farther for your family.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Tom, did you have one more?
I did. Rashod, I wanted to ask you about the Texas A&M defensive front. I think statistically they have the best run defense of anybody who's played yet. Just what do you make of their personnel and their teams on defense?
Back to what I said at first, trusting the O-line. They have a tremendous group up front, and I believe we have a good O-line as well we have concepts and things of that nature to stop what they're doing or execute based on what they're running.
All right. Jaylon, have you watched any of these Southwest Classic games on TV, or have you attended any of them?
Actually, when I was committed here when they played them last year. It was actually on my homecoming. So I was tuned in last year, the whole game. Yes, sir.
What did you think of just kind of maybe the atmosphere of the game and how it played out last year?
Oh, you can't get a better atmosphere, but like I'm here now, so I'm ready to get a part of that atmosphere and help us get a win.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, fellas. Going.
Yeah, Andrew, you're from Dallas and Commerce, Texas, about an hour and a half away from Arlington. I assume you got a lot of family and friends coming to this game?
Yeah, got about, I want to say like probably 15, trying to get 15 to come.
Yeah. Have you been trying to like hustle people for tickets and stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely. Had to get my hustle on starting Sunday night.
Have you ever played in Cowboy Stadium? You ever been to a game there?
Oh yeah, I've been in a lot of like state championship games there. I not played in, but like actually watched. But last time I played Cowboy Stadium, it had to be like Little League or something. I never played in there like on a big atmosphere though.
Mm-hmm. Landon, you're a little farther away, but still a Texas guy. You got a lot of family coming?
Yeah, I got quite a bit. Got a lot that I'm trying to get tickets for, and then a lot that I've kind of told, like, hey, you might have to buy a ticket. But
yeah.
So I got quite a bit of family coming up.
Have you ever played in the stadium?
Yeah, I've played there 3 times because we went to state my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and then won it my freshman and junior year.
Yeah,
So I played there 3
obviously,
times.
yeah, obviously you played in college. What was it like against LSU playing your former team? We didn't get to talk to you last week. What was the emotion like? And I guess seeing a lot of guys that you knew.
Man, it was great. I got to go against my roommate Garrett Dellinger, who is currently their starting right guard. So chopped it up with him quite a bit after the game. Talked to some old D-line teammates, and then just really just got to see how they've been, and really just get to go against guys I've been going against since my freshman year.
You guys got off to a really great start against them, and then obviously right before half they scored, and then they just scored every single drive. What do you think happened that changed? Obviously, there's some adjustments being made by them, but what do you think from your vantage point happened to allow them to be so much more productive in the second half?
Yeah, I think our defensive front needs to be more like we need to go out there and be ready for the tempo more. I think last week they started tempoing, and I guess our defensive line we got to be able to still play the same when they're tempoing us that we do whenever they're not. So I think that played a big part in it, and then also we just got to play better football. We got to have less penalties and just play cleaner ball.
Thanks, fellas.
Tom.
Hey, Andrew, I wonder if you've gotten a sense from Coach Pittman or just teammates on like maybe the importance of this rivalry and how big the game is for the Razorbacks.
I mean, every game we play this year is going to be a big game for us. We try to go in every game, try to prepare every game the same way, just making sure that the team we're playing this week is, the only thing that we're focused on is. And so I feel like, away from the rivalry part, it's just another game that we have to go in and try our hardest to dominate in.
All right. Hey, Landon, you were part of last year's game, and that's kind of how they've finished for the Razorbacks in recent years. Maybe your thoughts about how intense maybe the rivalry is and how much y'all want to get one back on them.
Yeah, man, it's a big time rivalry. They've I think they've taken 10 of the past 11. So we're trying to get this one and come out on top. And it's a big time game, and I'm really trying to get a win. I don't like losing. I come from a winning history, and I want to get this win for sure.
All right. And also scouting report on those guys preparing for a potential right-handed quarterback, left-handed quarterback. What do you think of their personnel?
I think both quarterbacks are very talented. Max Johnson has started games his freshman year, sophomore year, and now this year. So I'm excited to play him. He's another guy I was teammates with at LSU. He could throw really well in the run. So that's something we're preparing to do is keep him in the pocket. So that, and then Connor Wayman, if he's able to play, he's a really talented quarterback as well.
All right. And Andrew, the defensive scouting report, they got some older guys in the secondary and some veterans up front too. What do you think of their defensive personnel?
I feel like the defensive personnel is very good. All credit to those guys over there. I know they're preparing just like as hard as we're preparing, and we're just going to go out there and find ways to attack their defense in any way possible.
Bob.
Hey, Andrew, you played at Texas A&M Commerce, which I guess is kind of like the Aggies, younger brother or something.
Yes.
I had a A&M guy tell me that A&M recruited you pretty hard too. What's it like for a guy who was started his career at Commerce to play, the big A&M? And did A&M recruit you, and how much consideration did you give him?
Well, I was locked in on Arkansas no matter what. So like, it's gonna be good playing them. I did talk to coaches before I did commit or whatever, but it's gonna be a great time playing them. Just because I play for an A&M little brother, as you say. So it's gonna be fun playing the big brother of Commerce, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't mean that disrespectfully.
No, you good. And
then both, Jaylon was talking about this too. All you guys from Texas, everybody's trying to get tickets, right? So how competitive is it? And do you guys, I don't know, are there some tricks to maybe? Oh, I thought I was going to get those tickets, but this guy got them. What's that like during the week? I guess the competitiveness of trying to score as many tickets as you can.
Man, I told my family, I told them on our family group chat, I got a guaranteed 4. If you want to for sure be able to come and you're not mom, dad, brother, fiance, you better just go ahead and buy a ticket because there ain't no promises.
You gotta go to the low. You gotta go to where nobody think you're gonna go. You know, that's the people you gotta go to that nobody think you'll go to. So that's the little trick. So don't air this until I get the tickets.
Well, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that. But and then KJ's on the verge. He got 77 touchdowns. I guess they call it accounted for, passing and running, and he's about to break the school record for that. Just what do you guys think? Andrew, obviously you haven't been around KJ super long, but what do you guys think about KJ? What makes him such a productive quarterback?
I mean, KJ just, is KJ. He stays in the film room. He pays attention to the defenses. If he sees anything wrong, he talks to all of us about what we can do better, what he can do better, even if he messes up. And he just takes accountability for everything, even if he's not in the wrong, he's just a great guy, great quarterback, and make sure everything's runs as smoothly as possible.
Landon, you've obviously gone against KJ in practice a lot, and you get to watch him some in games, I guess, a little bit when you're not talking to your coaches. Just as from a defensive standpoint, what makes KJ so tough to defend?
Man, he's what makes the offense run. He's the engine to the offense. So, he can run the ball, he can throw the ball, and he's a really talented quarterback. And I think all of his leadership qualities is what makes him as talented as a quarterback as he is.
I guess you don't get to hit him in practice, and nor should you. But what do you think makes him so tough to tackle? Because we've seen all these videos of guys bouncing off him and stuff like he's wearing armor or something. What do you think makes him so tough to bring down?
Man, you would think he has eyes all around his head because, he'll get hit from behind and won't really budge. So, I think he has really good balance and really elusive.
Hey, it's got one more. I've had a lot of people ask me this week, how do you think the teams are doing? A couple of really tough losses, tough game coming up. I said, man, I don't know. I'll ask the players when we get them. So for each of you, maybe Landon, you could take it first. Kind of what's the mindset? How are you guys hanging in there?
Yeah, we're just, really trying to stay together, that's the only way to bounce back from 2 losses is to stay together and, man, let's go get this game. We can't separate and start, point fingers and stuff. That's not the way you go on to win games. You got to put the losses behind you and go on and continue the season.
Just like Landon said, we seen the games that we lost. BYU we lost by a touchdown. LSU we lost by 3 points. So we know how good of a team we can be. Because if things fall our way like we wanted them to, there is no question about we could have been 4-0. Going into A&M, with our head very high, and our head is still high because, like I said, we lost by 3. We lost by 1 touchdown. So, like I said, we know how great we can be as a team, and we're just going to go out there and just compete, and play like we're 4-0, trying to still go undefeated.
Thanks, guys.
Jackson.
Andrew, I know you and Isaac have, gotten some pretty consistent targets over the course of the year, but last Saturday was the first time Tyrone really got going in the offense and had the touchdown. Just have you seen any added confidence from him this week, and how good is it to kind of get him involved in the offense?
Man, it was great seeing him score that touchdown because me and him was talking literally the night before, about the opportunities there. I told him that night. I don't want to sound like LeBron or anything, but I knew that night, the day after he was going to score a touchdown, so I told him, just go out there and just do your thing. You're going to score. So I know, it was great. I was really happy for him. I feel like his confidence, he's been very confident with just his play style and things like that. So I feel like, throughout the season, he's going to just continue to build.
Yeah. And, him playing with you and Isaac is something we hadn't really seen until last week, all on the field at the same time. What's it been like in practice, the 3 of you working together? Has it, Coach Pittman said you haven't really been working on it too long. Does it seem like it's a pretty natural fit when the 3 of you guys share the field together?
Yeah, it's pretty natural, We all out there, like I said, we are transfers. We all came in together. So all of us on the field at the same time, it was just, everybody just know their job, know what they have to do. It's smooth, the spacing, the route running, everything was just, fell into place.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
Yeah, I think Devon Achane is still running on Denver Broncos, so he's not somebody you have to worry about now. But Moss and Daniels 8 and 4 as two talented backs. Just curious, Landon, what you've seen from those guys. What kind of runners are they?
Man, they run really hard. Their O-line is what gets that started. They have a really big, stronger O-line, and I think it'll be a better O-line that we'll be facing throughout the season. But I still to this day think we have a really talented defensive front, and I think we'll be able to shut it down if we just play the way I know we can play.
Yeah, can you expound a little bit more on that on the offensive line? Just what makes them a good front?
Yeah, I think it all starts with Bryce Foster, their center. He's a guy I knew growing up, and he's a really talented center. He's able to read defenses really well, and then their tackles are really big as well. I think they're both weighing in at close to 320, 325. So they got bigger, stronger guys, and I mean, really guys that are meant for a team that likes to run the football.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Sir.
Daniel.
Hey, Andrew, Coach Pittman talked about on Monday having to get the play call in faster because y'all burn timeouts on the play call. Just what have y'all done in practice this week to kind of fix that, or what have the coaches talked to y'all about?
You know, just everybody hustling up, getting on the ball as fast as we can, looking to the sideline and just making sure everybody is focused on, you know, looking at the play and not focused on the play you just did, you know, worry about, you know, getting the ball to the ref or just like doing something that you're not supposed to do. So we put a big emphasis this week on just hurry up, get on the ball, looking to the sideline, getting the play and executing.
All right, thanks, fellas.